full grappling, but a lot less in the jiu-jitsu format. And straight away, touch of hands. Luke Griffith sits down and probably to be expected, looking to play that leg lock entry from guard.
Yeah, you might have just missed the first 2 seconds. Literally from the handshake, Luke was already sitting down to guard. And you mentioned it earlier, Josh, about how he has a phenomenally high submission rate, 92% submission rate. That's one of the highest I've ever seen among any professional jiu-jitsu competitor.
Brandon, for a dominant wrestler like Pat Downey, what's he got to do to, well, I was going to say try and stay on top and pass the guard, but he's got to scramble here and he's given up a seatbelt quickly.
I mean, this is looking bad already. This is one of, we talked about that 92% submission rate. This is one of the places where Luke does his most damage. This rear triangle position, it's locked in.
That's not good. Oh, Downey's out.
What a good entry.
What a great first match we've got here in this quintet format CJI.
So guys, one thing to be aware of course, is if these matches do go to a draw, both athletes are eliminated, but the match is still scored by our 3 pit-side judges. And should the overall duel be a draw, we're going to get those scores playing a role here.
Listen, so if it keeps going like this, we're not going to get any double eliminations. We're not going to get a draw.
Right now.
And Luke is immediately on it. He's got that shoulder crunch grip. He's going over the back. He could be looking for that triangle again, but Downey's out.
As long as Downey is in the top position, he's going to find a way to try to survive. What he's got to really watch for is while he's standing to pass, while he's opening space under his hips, that's where he's going to be the most vulnerable, just with his own personal game, much less dealing with this animal right here. And he's going right back in that same attack again.
This has been a rough 90 seconds for Pat Downey.
He's 0 for 3.
Managed to pop his hand out here.
Oh,
this is a real one here.
This is just a regular triangle, front triangle. It's not on the back. This is going to be way harder for Downey to slip out of.
Yeah, looking to lock that leg down. He's trying to turn the angle, but this is tight.
That's going to get tighter and tighter.
He's over the shin now. I believe this is it.
I think Pat Downey might go to sleep.
Oh, his head's out of there, though. He's going to live. He's got to watch his
arm. Is compromised.
He's okay. He's okay.
Man, that is the 4th deep submission attack that Luke Rockhold has made in basically less than 3 minutes.
I am dying to see if Luke Griffith can keep up this submission attack rate.
Well, not just in this match, Josh, because this is the thing.
Right. If he wins,
taps out Downey,
he's got to go again.
He's got to go again, and you know, you do have to consider pacing yourself. You got to go out fast in quintet style. You got to look for the finish, but you got to consider that, hey, you get a 90-second break and you're back out at it again.
Here's the thing. We talked about it before in teams matches, right? It takes a certain type of guy to know, hey, I'm going out there until I lose. If I don't run the team on the guy, somebody's going to submit me or we're going to draw and I'm going to be eliminated. You've got to clue yourself in that that's the game you're playing.
We have not seen one significant attack yet from Pat Downey. We haven't really seen any opportunity for him to pass the guard, to put Luke under any kind of pressure, snag hold of anything.
Well, Luke's just done
such easy arm drag.
But you know, that could be part of the strategy, because maybe Greg's like, you know what? Maybe Pat's in a position to take out one of their heavy hitters.
Is a double elimination the best option here for him?
Well, Pat's got to be, you got to think of Pat as one of the stoppers.
Right,
like,
right.
You need in a quintet team, any kind of team format, each guy kind of occupies a different role. And I think for this team, for Team Americas in this tournament, Pat may be occupying that role of stopper, and so far, so good. If he could take Luke Griffith off the board, that's massive.
You take out a heavyweight with a 90% submission rate, that's kind of a win.
Yeah, I mean, we've got great finishers on the New Wave Warriors team, but Luke is definitely one of the most dangerous. So Pat is, I mean, just luck of the draw, right? Pat is the great guy to take out one of the favorites, but wait, we still got a little over 4 minutes to work, and Luke is still on the attack here.
Again here, and he's going to find his way almost to the back.
I feel like Pat is settling down a little bit now, though. Got that first wind.
You know, look, Downey's NCAA Division I All-American at Iowa State Cyclones. You know, wrestled very heavily at 86 kilos, over 100 career freestyle matches. Had a bit of MMA experience as well.
No stranger to high-level competition.
He can grit through this kind of stuff.
And as long as he's in this low position, he's much, much better off. It's going to be way harder to take him off base. Luke is going to have to attack him at the shoulders, which is going to work against the posture of Pat. That's going to make it way easier for him to dig into his experience and find some way to survive.
The one thing that Pat cannot afford to do, though, is kind of make it look like he's really trying to just run out the clock, because our referees have been instructed to be absolutely ruthless with the scoring calls, and rightfully so. We need to see action.
Well, he's got to start.
Only tournament, right?
Yeah, he's got to start harassing the head. He's got to start doing something to take Luke Griffith out of his game where he's making grips kind of freely here.
Well, he's got to be careful when he comes back in that he doesn't let Luke play with these arm drags and these butterfly hooks. He's been getting off balance. It's super easy, and here's another one. This is where he's been making his entries from.
Hands on him, Pat. We got to win the hand fight.
2:55 left in this one. Luke Griffith, he's had several bites at the cherry. He's got another one here, potentially, as he looks to invert over the top.
Going
that
back
triangle
into this
again.
attack.
Keep his legs open, Pat.
Pat on the inside this time, though.
Yeah, Pat's getting a little bit more hip to it now, you know. He's kind of had a chance to sort of identify a couple of patterns that Luke Griffith is using to initiate those attacks.
Time winding down on Luke Griffith. Now the pressure starts to sit in a little bit.
And I'm sure that he would be extremely disappointed to go out after a first round, you know, if there is no submission. So you're right about the pressure, Brandon.
19 years of training for Luke Griffith. Started when he was 5 years old. His father is a black belt as well, and met John Danaher in 2021. Moved over here to train full-time at New Wave.
Hands up. Prepare to move, Pat.
You know, one
Go.
thing
Put your hands-
you hear
hands
Greg
away. Let's
Souders
go.
is now saying
Stop.
Time.
that
Time.
Back.
Say it right there. This is your official warning.
Okay,
Stop.
so we've got our
Get
first
another one.
official
Use a
warning
point
here
15.
for Pat Downey. Next time, it's not just a warning, it's a point deduction, and he gets put in bottom half guard.
right. So he was told, look, very clearly that if he doesn't
This is just ready.
initiate, then that's a point dogged against his team.
Oh, Luke draws the ire of the crowd.
I mean, look, he flips the bird to the crowd. They can be upset what you want, but he's not going to win a wrestling match against Pat Downey.
No,
right?
he's not. No, absolutely not. But you know, this is just the thing we have to consider as well, is that every result counts here at CJI because this is a quintet, this is a team grappling duel. And, you know, you're not just fighting for yourself here. It's not just about personal pride or honor. This is about carrying the hopes and dreams of your team in search of that $1 million.
Luke definitely thinking about using that underhook to try to get onto the arm again over there, maybe set up his triangle once again.
Do you
Pat
think...
starting to get the hang of it, though. You see how he works to the inside? Uh-oh, watch out. Back take coming.
Oh, with a minute left. This is a...
Oh,
he's
shakes
gonna
him off, though. Pat finally has grip of the neck there for a second, but
It almost
Luke's
came out in dominant position right there as well. Luke had to save
You
it.
got to love this format because no doubt Luke Griffith has been winning this match on the judges' scorecards. But if he wants to stay in it, he's got to start throwing Hail Marys as well.
Yeah, and just to note that if this is a double elimination, in the case of no submission, both athletes leave the pit. And then that match is scored like 10-9, 10-8, 10-7, you know, MMA style, just like we did at CJI 1. And then that will go towards the overall result of the duel if it is a draw at the end of those matches.
Yeah, we're just going to
So I'd
bank
say
this
Luke
score,
is quite
see if we need it
obviously
later.
winning right now. But
Yeah, obviously.
Well, we're into the final 10 seconds. I think it's going to be probably a judge's decision win for Luke Griffith. We're not actually going to know that or know the level of win that he got in terms of score, but hey, we
double
can make the assumption.
elimination in the first match.
Yeah.
Not for lack of trying from Luke Griffith, but I can't help but feel that he's going to be a little disappointed with his performance. But hey, that is a very durable Pat Downey.
So here's the deal, folks. We get a hard 90-second count as we look at some of the replays here.
I mean, it started off as bad as it could start off right there for Pat Downey. He had Luke literally jumping on his neck within the first 15
That was
seconds.
tighter. That was the tightest.
Yeah, it was the opening. Each subsequent triangle attempt was looser and looser. It's like Pat got the hang of it as it went on. You were saying that.
Oh, I wonder if he should have transitioned to the arm a little bit earlier there, but this was 3 or 4 attempts at inverting to the back that Luke Griffith had, and Downey just managed to worm his way out every time.
So both athletes are out, which means
We get
that
2
both
new
coaches will call out 2 brand new competitors.
In our modified rule set here at CJI 2, without a submission, we have a draw, and both of our athletes have been eliminated.